You are going to Bali. Nice, you nailed your travel plans. The next consideration is, well, what to do there. And of course, how long to stay. And where to go. And how much it costs. And you know what?
We have done it all for you.
Yep.
That's right. So whether you are seeking a mental, physical and spiritual rejuvenation, a cultural exploration, an adventure through the outdoors or just the vacation of a lifetime, there are 3 things you have to do.
Number 1, spend a night in Ubud.
Number 2, spend a second night in Ubud.
Number 3, yeah, you guessed it.
So keep your flight tickets at the ready, your excitement at bay, and follow us through the ultimate 3 days in Ubud.
Step 1. Arrive in Ubud. We predict you will be arriving via the Nungnung Waterfall International Airport in Denpasar. Whether from there or a harbour, another town or a village, you'll need to make your way to the heart of Bali, Ubud.
We made our whole journey a lot smoother by arranging everything through our host Jhon. He fetched us from the airport and arranged any other transport wherever needed, for whatever the case was. He was extremely friendly and his multiple accommodation options are all exquisite. You can find him on Travallure.com. Jhon took us to our first villa, which was perfectly located off of the main road, just a little bit out of town. No matter your accommodation preferences, we suggest a similar placement for ease of access and peace and quiet.
Step 2. Take it in.
We spent our first night watching the sunset over the rice fields from our balcony. We ended up watching the moon rise too. It was just so beautiful, so peaceful and really exciting. Make sure you are rested and ready. You'll want to make the best of the next 3 days. Bug spray, sunscreen and water are the holy trinity of Ubud travel. So please, stay blessed.
Step 3. Tegalalang Rice Terrace. You're looking at a 22-minute drive through some of the most spectacular natural terrain we have had the pleasure of exploring. 10.5 kilometers takes you to the Tegalalang Rice Terrace, but be sure to follow your maps to Seeking Terrace Parking Center. The entrance to the terrace is across the road and not very well marked, so keep your eyes peeled. We suggest aiming to arrive between 5:30 and 6 in the morning to catch the breathtaking sunrise before it gets too crowded. There is no entrance fee per se, but donations are asked fairly frequently as you cross from one farmer's land to another. 10,000 rupiah per person is acceptable, but prepare to pay up to 50,000 for photos with the locals. The locals weren't at their donation stations when we arrived, but we left our donations there regardless.
We just hope the other travelers didn't think we made the donations to them. I can feel your anticipation from here. Yes, Tegalalang is the Instagram hotspot that has been flooding your feed from grammars across the globe. I mean, did you even visit without photographic proof? Unfortunately, we visited during quite an overgrown and unkept cycle, but enjoyed the experience nonetheless. The world-famous swings, seats and signs were emerging into operation as we readied ourselves to leave. Remember, arriving early doesn't only beat the crowds, but the heat too.
You're probably a little parched already, so climb up towards step 4, Sai-Mai Warung.
You may have skipped breakfast, built up an appetite, or just want to continue admiring the terrace for a while longer. Why not do it from the comfortable shade of Sai-Mai? The owner, who just happened to be the waiter, chef, and everything else, was kind and offered great conversation. There are so many great restaurant options along this stretch, so just pick whatever draws you in. We were merely heading towards this seat. The cafe being there was just serendipitous.
Step 5. Pura Tirta Empul, the Temple of the Holy Spring. This world-famous temple compound can be reached in 18 minutes with a smooth 6.5 kilometer drive. It's quite clear where to park, pay your 50k rupiah for tickets and enter. You will get a mandatory sarong to wear included in the ticket price. If you plan on taking part in a purification ceremony, lockers and the offerings are 10,000 each, and the water sarongs 10 to 15k.
Tirta Empul is said to have been created when the god Indra pierced the ground with his staff and formed sacred healing springs as a defense against the evil king Mayadanawa, who he defeated a little later. The temple is known for ritual purification via washing under showers of spring water, prayer, meditation, and offering. It is a religious site and there is a correct procedure should you wish to partake in the ceremony. So ask a local who is willing to help or ask for a guide at the entrance. 50,000 rupiah is a common rate. Also, don't forget to explore the rest of the compound where you can find ponds, temples, natural springs, and of course, friendly people.
Step 6 is a short 1.3 kilometers away, which you can easily manage in 4 minutes. Pura Gunung Kawi,
roughly translating to the Temple of the Mountain Poet, boasts 10 massive rock carvings that are said to be dedicated to King Anak Wongsu, his family, and concubines on the other side. The 7-meter rock-cut candy are mesmerizing with their complexity and attention to detail, but are not the only reason for the visit. Walking around the valley, you can admire the Pakrisan River, waterfalls, religious temples, and amazing handcraft stalls along the way.
There is even a secret waterfall just off the path around the furthest temple on the right. The highlight for us personally was the winding paths surrounded by thick tropical foliage, sheer cliffs, and water trickling throughout it all. There is a parking fee of 2,000 and entrance costs you 50. Once your desire for exploration is outweighed by your hunger, it's time to make the 16.6 kilometer journey back into town. Step 7. The Monkey Legend restaurant and bar is your lunch break, an easy 28 minutes away.
We had a positively delightful meal at the Monkey Legend, with the most lovely lady making us feel welcome. It was so comfortable, the food was scrumptious, and the setting was really cute. Lunch will cost you around 80k each, and now you're fully prepared to move from Monkey Legend to
the sacred Monkey Forest Sanctuary. Step 8 may in fact be the most famous attraction in Ubud, and is a requisite to claiming you have travelled here. You may as well walk the 290 meters to the sanctuary, it'll take you less than 4 minutes.
After the 80,000 rupiah entrance fee, the forest offers immediate reprieve from the direct sunlight. There are hundreds of monkeys running around, swinging along the treetops and liberating loose items off of tourists. Remember, we are visiting their house. Expect some monkey business. Buying fruit to feed the monkeys will inherently attract them to you. Consider if this is something you want. We adored the moss-covered temples, ornate bridges, hidden walkways, and river ambience throughout. Just be warned, if you're in it for the gram, the hordes of tourists are unfazed about your immaculate framing, but started to reduce their number as evening drew near. Pro tip, you might not want to drink from the water fountains.
There you have it, the complete I've been to Ubud day trip. From now on, it only gets better. Starting with dinner as step 9. Thy Neighbour won't take you more than 9 minutes to reach and is 3.7 kilometers from where you are right now.
Which is not where we were a few days ago. We had just come from living in Thailand for the past 2 years, so yes, we're having Thai food. We are awfully picky about Thai food, having indulged in some of the yummiest known to humankind, but we were overall very pleased with Thy Neighbour. The staff was so funny, the ambience was calm, and the food, however a tad pricey, was awfully tasty. If you want to know the real reason for us suggesting Thy Neighbour, just ask them for the Wi-Fi password. We'd budget around 200k per person and open the rest of the night up to personal preference. Night out on the town, movie in bed, or like us, moonrise on the balcony.
Step 10 begins with you leaving at 5:30 in the morning and heading towards Pengempu Waterfall, a more substantial 16.1 kilometers and 26 minutes away. It opens at 6 a.m. and requires a donation, for which 20,000 is generous.
Otherwise called Blayu Waterfall, Pengempu doesn't seem very impressive in pictures, but it is still well worth the visit. Not only did we have the entire place to ourselves and experience the most beautiful sunrise, but we actually really enjoyed the tranquility of the river and the waterfall. The water is so warm and the river was amazingly peaceful. We cannot recommend enough bringing some coffee and a snack, a light picnic, or even a book to actually spend some time recharging right here. I wish we did.
Me too. But at least we get to visit step 11, and so do you. Nungnung Waterfall is another 32 minutes out, so you'll want to leave around 8 or 8:30 so you can make the 21.4 kilometers before the 9 a.m. opening time. You'll need to hand over 10k as an entrance fee and 2k to park.
There are rumors of an evil staircase that precedes the waterfall, robbing you of energy, breath, and zest. But fear not, it was a fairly easy 20-minute stroll, and if nothing else, made the waterfall even more awe-inspiring. It is one of the most powerful we have ever come across, impressive in height, sound, and misting. You kind of just stand there and stare. It's magical. Even getting there early may not allow you the place entirely to yourself, but as close as you can get. Swimming is possible, scary, but possible. There are no toilets or change rooms, so bear that in mind and pack everything into a waterproof bag if you can. Byron ventured around
behind the curtain, and it was one of the best things I have ever done. I should have taken the GoPro and not our DSLR, but that does not take away from my wholehearted advocacy of the undertaking. Upon leaving, we were greeted with a flat tire, which led us to the discovery of step 12. Bali Jhon swing, and coffee Luwak Pageh.
I stayed behind to make friends with the owner of the place while Byron sorted out our bike. We chatted, laughed, one thing led to another, and we ended up with a coffee tasting tray overlooking the valley. This is your perfect opportunity to try out coffee Luwak, the world's most expensive coffee. The beans are collected from the Asian palm civet that eats the finest and ripest cherries, but is unable to digest the bean. If you don't already know, just consider how they retrieve the beans. We weren't too sure of the conditions the animals were kept in and opted to give it a miss this time. Our coffees, tasters and tip came up to a mere 35,000 each. If you haven't already, this may be a great place to eat some breakfast.
Step 13 is much more famous in the rafting world, but is worth the visit if you have the time. The Ayung Waterfall is only 16 minutes away from Nungnung and already sets you 8.7 kilometers closer to home.
You cannot actually get to the waterfall, but you can admire it from a platform a short distance away.
Step 14 takes you right back into the center of town. Saraswati Temple is a 26-kilometer drive from Ayung and will take you around 43 minutes. Be sure to search Lotus Cafe to find the pedestrian entrance between that and the Starbucks.
Also known as the Ubud Water Palace and dedicated to the goddess Saraswati, it is most notably remembered for its water garden and lotus pond. Fittingly, we visited in the rain. Entrance is free unless of course you wish to watch a traditional Balinese dance that is performed at 7:30 each night, except Fridays. This will cost you 80,000. However, we'd suggest rather booking a table at the Cafe Lotus and enjoying dinner and a show. There is a minimum spend of 200,000 required.
Fear not, step 15 is a food step. Head to Karadi Spa, which is just 700 meters down the road, and turn left at the boom gate. Drive down the narrow lane and turn left into the second parking area that looks like this. Now go back up from whence you came and walk up the tree canopy road. Turn left towards the Ubud Yoga House. It's the second left immediately after each other. Walk up the ramp and keep left. When you see this split, you'll want to head for the super thin road that still sometimes has pedestrians and two-way traffic. Don't worry, we are almost there. As you curve right, a long path reveals itself to you, and you step into one of our favorite sections of Ubud. Before you get too far, the first restaurant you pass on your right is where you'll be enjoying lunch.
But wait, there are no seats. It's probably the first thought, but fight it and head straight through to the back. This is where we enjoyed a delicious, secluded and peaceful meal, even spotting a Jhon pond heron for all the ornithologists out there.
After your lunch, step 16 is to enjoy that walk that Google Maps has yet to get on Street View.
Only discovering this late in our stay, we are entrusting you with this information. There are guest houses, restaurants, cafes, rice paddies, art galleries, and we don't even know what else. We just absolutely loved this walk and we wish we'd found it earlier. We loved watching the ducks get excited about running through the paddies, we loved the historical houses, and we loved the thought of visiting all of these cafes next time around.
You can walk as far as you like, remembering that you will need to walk back again, so base that on your desire and fitness, especially since step 17 is taking in the town. You can either retrace your steps all the way back to your parking spot and take it on motorized, or, preferably, just get lost taking each turn by gut direction alone.
There's no better way to get a true sense of the town, discover hidden treasures, and truly feel immersed in it than walking around without direction or a time constraint. We found amazing art, back alley cafes, small boutiques, and interesting shops while just strolling around. If you'd like some direction, just aim towards Ubud Raw.
Step 18 is to have a tester and then try not buy everything from Ubud Raw. We restricted ourselves to 25,000 rupiah and
held no regrets as Ubud Raw uses raw cacao boasting 4 times more antioxidants than traditional roasted cacao. Ubud Raw is also committed to social and environmental sustainability and promoting local growth rather than trying to control it. Did I mention it's creamy and divine?
Step 19 contains a little more strolling. 350 meters up from Ubud Raw is the beginning of the Ubud Art Market. It closes at 6 p.m. and that's all you need to know.
If you've ever felt like scouring endless stalls to find beauty that captures your soul, to find trinkets that encapsulate your journey, or art that tells your story, if you've ever felt like haggling your way down to half the listed price, or learning about all the things you simply cannot leave Bali without, if you're looking for gifts or souvenirs, or even if you're just hoping to relive the scene from Eat, Pray, Love, this is the place to do it. Some of those alleys are really cramped and is often packed with tourists. But if you're on the hunt for something in particular, best believe you will find it.
Once you find what you were or weren't looking for, You can head back up to your parking spot and start salivating. Dumbo is step 20 and you're in for a treat. You won't have to wait long, a 3 minutes drive is all it takes.
At the entrance already, you can notice something special about Dumbo. Their eye-catching decor, welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff undeniably carries through to their mouth-watering food. Focusing on locally grown produce, usually harvested one day prior, you simply can't find fresher food with a team that advocates clean and green living. Seated upstairs, you can watch the sunset over the Kampuhan Ridge with a glass of wine in hand as your pizza is prepared in the wood fire oven. We walked away having spent about 150k each.
We're so excited for you. Day 3 is a good one. It begins with you leaving at 5:30 and heading to step 21, Tibumana Waterfall. It opens at 6, however there was nobody at the entrance when we arrived. You can carry on and simply pay the 15,000 rupiah on your way out. At the end of the driveway, you will see a small temple where you can park and walk down the path following the signs. It's a very short walk too.
Our favorite waterfall on the island, the perfect bridal veil surrounded by rich dark cliffs and decorated with lush green vegetation. The turquoise pool draws you in as the mist gently rises and fills the air with the fresh scent of nature. It is the epitome of the perfect waterfall, and if you get to experience it by yourself, it's unparalleled. Locals and foreigners alike come to pray, meditate, or simply relax at this very place, and you'll be glad you made the journey too. Even the walk back up can be magical.
Goa Waterfall is a smaller waterfall 9 minutes and 3.3 kilometers away from Tibumana. It has a 15k entrance fee and is the waterfall we skipped in lieu of getting to step 22 earlier. A further 7 minutes and 2.6 kilometers is the Lampo Waterfall. With an entrance fee of 15,000 and opening time of 8 am, it's also one you should try to get to earlier rather than later.
A little more popular than Tibumana, tourists can be seen queuing up to snap away at the bright white water cascading against the rich black rocks from early in the morning. There is a lot more to do than just that, but if you'd like to spend some time taking it in, it's best to arrive before the crowds as always. The river extends on either side of the waterfall, both sides offering great places to set up a comfortable arrangement to relax.
Between the 3 of these, you should have more than enough to do until lunchtime. For those of you following us on the socials, you'll already know where we are going. For the rest of you, allow us to introduce to you our friends at our most frequented cafe in Ubud, Alethea Backhouse. 26 minutes and 14.2 kilometers separates you from step 23, your delectable lunch.
Alethea, meaning truth or openness, is the name chosen for this art gallery, homestay, cafe and co-working space. We'd suggest you take a table upstairs, table 7 if you can, where you can have your own dedicated aircon, some solitude and really comfortable seating. We came here countless times to edit, work and research, munching away at their tasty treats and indulging in creamy coffees with somehow the perfect music for our mood each time.
Step 24, Goa Gajah, translating to Elephant Cave, is only 12 minutes and 7.4 kilometers from Alethea. It has a 50k entrance fee, which provides you with the free sarong. You needn't buy one in the parking lot.
The Demon-Mouthed Cave is a popular social media snap spot, but is really only a small part of the attraction. The entire cave can be explored within about 1 minute. The bathing temple is adorned by statues of 7 women holding pitchers representing the 7 holy rivers of India. The rest of the compound is filled with lush, untouched nature, waterfalls, rivers, streams, ponds, trees, caves, carvings, temples, and very few restrictions, allowing you to explore as you wish.
Remember the parking spot we guided you to yesterday? Let's head back there to begin step 25. It'll take you 11 minutes to make the 6-kilometer journey towards Karadi Spa. Once you have parked, walk towards the main road, find the staircase and take it down. Why? Because you are about to see one of the most important yet least known spots in Ubud.
You will exit to the site of 2 rivers merging into one. Legend tells of a Javanese priest who founded the Gunung Temple on the valley floor, where he came to meditate at the confluence of 2 rivers. Still a pilgrimage site today, take a moment to walk around and absorb the history.
There is a bridge you can cross over around the right-hand side of the hill, or else you can head back up to the parking and take it that way. Turn left down the path to explore the temple some more and admire the rivers from atop. Step 26 begins just before the bridge to the temple, at the stairs just to the right.
The Kampuhan Ridge Walk is a favorite amongst travelers for sunset, and it's no secret why. You have unrestricted views all around you, the path is easy walking, and ambience is a mixture of wind and palm trees with a hint of river. There is a swing quite early along the route which you can pay to use if you feel like shaking up your perspective a little.
The section at the end of the walk is filled with cafes, rice paddies and uninterrupted sunsets. It's sparsely populated but closely connected to the town via the ridge. We loved it so much we moved here for month number 2 and tried out every place along the road. We wouldn't suggest walking further than the shed, which also happens to be step 27.
Now this is going to be dinner, so if you aren't comfortable tracking back in the dark, perhaps go back and drive here or arrive a little earlier. The shed offers a menu that is fairly different compared to most places around and packs an awfully tasty punch. We made good friends with some of the staff who we'd also see sometimes walking around the local area and stop for a chat. The shed hosts traditional dances on Saturday evenings if you're looking for even more.
And that's it, Ubud in 3 days. Now we don't want you to think we're abandoning you here, just as you were getting excited about your travel plans.
So we have your next steps mapped out for you too. Ubud is going to lead you straight to our favorite island, where we have planned every single attraction, every route, every cost, and every meal for you already.
All you need to do is decide that you're ready for more adventure and accept Nusa Penida as your next destination. Step 28 if you will.
Before you jump on over to our Nusa Penida video, stick around if you want a cost breakdown or some helpful hints for your time in Ubud.
Ubud has some of the most delicious food you will ever have and caters very specifically to the tourism market. So if you're looking for vegan, vegetarian or pescatarian, whether you are looking for plant-based, cost-based or locally based, you will find it. We have had entire meals and drinks for under 40k as well as over 200k per person. But if you budget around 100,000 per meal, you will never be disappointed. This is also a place we saved a fair amount.
Pause the cost breakdown. If you're ever looking for advice on all of these kinds of restaurants and cafes mentioned above, Travallure.com. That's all I'm going to say.
Day 1 is going to cost you around 501,000 rupiah. Day 2 comes in at around 302 and Day 3 asks for 260,000 rupiah. We had a scooter for the month, equating to 25k per day and no more than 10k a day for petrol. And if you throw in our private 2-story 6-sleeper villa, you're looking at 600,000 a day, bringing the total to 2,015,500 per person sharing for this spectacular itinerary.
We lived in Bali for a while and thought we'd include some sundry costs for your interest. After reducing our cost of living, this is what a week looked like for us.
This was still very comfortable living and allowed us to extend our stay as far as our visas allowed.
On the living in Ubud side, here is a little advice we think is helpful. Renting a scooter is super convenient, fun and cheap. It's our #1 choice for getting around. However, it is a little dangerous. Always wear your helmet, make sure you're comfortable with your scooter and in control before heading out. And remember, speeding only robs you of the beautiful vistas.
The temporary driving permit for foreigners is no longer available, so you'll need to get your international driving permit before you leave your home country.
Taxi hailing apps are prohibited in Ubud.
But there are so many local taxis that it's not really an issue.
Don't drink the tap water.
Your right hand is the only one you should extend to others. Whether you're eating or paying, the left is considered dirty.
When shopping at markets, haggling is expected and not rude. Smiling is your best tool, and 50% of the asking price is a good place to start.
If you get there early in the morning, you may be able to get a better price, as the first sale of the day is considered to be good luck and suggests how the rest of the day will go.
The name Ubud comes from the Balinese word ubad, meaning medicine, as the town was originally a prominent source of herbs and plants used in medicines.
That wasn't a tip.
It was still interesting though.
Not a tip.
You're a tip.
No, a tip is to go and follow Dear Travallure on Instagram, like our page on Facebook, and visit our website deartravallure.com for all your travel guides, tips, and inspiration.
And with that, we sincerely hope this has inspired you to make the trip, amped up your travel plans, or garnered you some insight into life in Ubud.
We will see you in the next video, and, as always,
enjoy your journey!